Hey friends, welcome back to Sassy Sundays, and I'm your host, Monique, Mo for short, and we also have with us
Suzette.
Unfortunately, Lynette could not be with us this week, but she will be back with us next Sunday. First off, I do want to apologize, everybody. I am a bit under the weather, so please bear with me at this time. So I'm going to try to struggle through this. But just so you guys know, first off, Sassy Sundays is a weekly podcast centered around conversations about love and relationships. So on last week's episode, for those of you who were not able to catch it, which was also our very first podcast, Go Us, the ladies and I discussed topics that were centered around marriage proposals, dating, and proposal time limits, and more. So if you missed that one, be sure to go check it out. You can head right on over to our FB page, Facebook page, Let's Talk About It, or to Instagram at Let's Talk About It at Talk to Mo, and then you can click the link. The link will be in the bio, and also it'll be on the timeline as well if you can't find it in the bio. All right, so let's get started right into it. Today we're talking about married men, single women. So what is the attraction? Who cheats more, men or women? And who should be blamed, or if we're blaming anyone for this? So Suzette, what do you think? Like, what are your initial thoughts?
I think a lot of single women see the attraction of, he's married, he's with somebody, he's stable, he can take care of somebody, he's willing to work hard and have a family. And I think that's the attraction that some of your single women have to your married men. For as far as married men, it's like, somebody's attracted to me who's not my wife, and a lot of times they're younger, and they're just exciting, they're new, they're different. But like I said, it's just the stability and the fact that they can hold out a family. For the ladies and for the men, I think it's just the somebody likes me situation.
Yeah, I mean the attraction there, it can definitely go in that direction. For me, I think more so for the women per se, going after married men or being attracted to married men, or even taking up their proposals or their offers, is just for the simple fact that they can do it. In my mind, that's how I process that. There's kind of like, for me anyway, it's like if I wanted someone who's stable, who's a provider, has the potential to be married, doesn't worry about settling down. So why do I want to share you then? Because then you're stable at home, but I mean, once you're cheating at this point, you're really not stable anymore, are you?
That's true.
You're going to have to do a balancing act. But if I wanted that, then why can't I have my own? So I really think for the women, it's definitely the challenge, and just the fact to say, I got them, I can have them whenever I want, is that it kind of builds up their ego and moves them in that way. For the guys, though, I don't understand, really. It's like, if you're going to cheat, and even this is women and being married too, stepping outside of the marriage. If you're gonna cheat, like, what was the point of you even getting married? Like, that was a waste. First of all, it was a waste of my time, a waste of your time. I bought you a gift for the wedding, and now y'all getting divorced because you cheated. No, I know. I want my gift back with the receipt and down to the change. That's what I want back. I mean, it's stupid. Like, if you're gonna cheat, then stay single. Stay single, because if you run around here gallivanting with all these other people, then that's your choice. But when you get married, you definitely make that commitment. So I think the commitment needs to stay there. I mean, sometimes you have, a lack of judgment, for lack of a better term here, I guess.
And some of these guys are young, or they feel pressured
to do it.
Because they're pregnant, or this, we've been together so long, or whatever. I think, and a lot of times I think it's even more so, they're getting ready to have a kid, and they're getting ready.
But you know what? And then I wouldn't even want to be with somebody who feels pressure. To me, that means, like, you have no backbone. Like, just because someone, let's say, ends up pregnant, or you guys have been together for so long, and everybody's saying, well, when is this happening? When is this happening? Or maybe you're seeing all your friends getting married. Like, at some point, have a backbone and say, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe this isn't my time to do this.
True. Well, not to say it like that, and I know this is totally off topic, but I know a family who made the parents of the girl who made the husband marry her. It's like, we don't have to. And the parents of the dude were like, they don't need to. And they said, yes, if this is going to happen, they have to be married. Now, I thought that was stupid. I was like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, then I would have been like, well, this don't need to happen then. You need to go somewhere else with that. That's crazy. It's like we're not living in.
But they did it. They did it. They did it, and one family even switched their religion. The dude even switched his religion.
Are they still married?
Yes, they are.
Well,
I was like, hey.
I wonder, has he cheated? If you're that family, hey, hit us up. I would like to know more. Definitely like to know more. So based off of that, I just want to know who cheats more, men or women. Seeing that we're both women here in this forum, I mean, definitely, who would you say cheats more, men or women?
Men.
Definitely men. It's always going to be men. I think if a guy were to chime in, I think he would definitely say women cheat more. But like, honestly, we have to be honest about this here. Men cheat more than women. They just do. And
they have more opportunity.
I do believe, though, the increase of women cheating, there has been an increase. More women are coming around to the cheating forum with their male counterparts, who are already leading the way for the cheating aspect. But I do believe there has been an increase of women becoming cheaters and stepping outside of the marriage. Now, on instituteforfamilies.org, they actually did a study. They did a general social survey, which proved 20% of men versus 13% of women have admitted to having sexual relations with someone other than their spouse. So they did admit to stepping outside the marriage. I mean, I don't think that many people are going to say, I cheated. Of course I cheated. Clearly people are going to keep that swept under the rug as something they don't want to come out or anything like that. Excuse me. But according to their study, we win. We are correct. More men cheat than women, 20% to 13%, right. Even though it's not that huge of a gap. There's still that gap there. Yeah,
and I think, now with increased, technology and everything, I think a long time ago, with way more women, because you have more time and opportunity. You didn't have a phone to keep up with, track you down. Right. Everybody wasn't on your side. You couldn't just call the office and they're going to tell you information. Yeah. So, I mean, getting as far as who cheats more, men were working, but now a lot of the women are working outside of the homes, and the men can't find jobs, and they're inside the homes. So I think that's what's leading, to somebody on my level, same status as me. We can have conversation. That's a lot of we can talk about anything. We can have conversation.
Yeah, but it's like, didn't you have this same feeling with your current spouse? Like, how does that feeling fade? Or was it not genuine even to begin with? You know what I mean? It's like you say, this person does this better, or they do this more, blah, blah, blah. Or you just accepting of your spouse's shortcomings? Or was it there and then the fire just fizzled out and now you're trying to seek that somewhere else instead of maintaining what you have and then rebuilding and keeping that there? That to me, that's really, really just a cop-out to say, they're doing this better than this person, so let me go over here.
Like you said about the backbone, a lot of people felt forced or tricked or whatever into, and they some people stay with people out of convenience because they don't want to look for anything else, but then they get into it and then they find somebody else, but you shouldn't have gotten married to him in the first place. Matter of convenience. I guess that's the key word. It was convenient.
Convenience.
You had a place to stay. I didn't have anything.
Well, now you're just using people.
But that's what it is. Convenience. Like I said, you're going to pay more at a grocery store, or at the gas station in the grocery store, because it's what? Convenient.
That's why they call it the convenience store, I guess. Yeah. So also in their study, they did mention that in general, men are more likely than women to cheat, but the gender gap in infidelity does vary by age. I do know that their study did show between the 18 to 29-year-old range, more women cheated than men. And then as the ages progressed, it became more men
cheating than women.
Yeah, and I think that does, like you said, has to come with the stability aspect. Women feel that they have that stable home. Yeah. So, there's no need to go look anywhere else. But then what is it for the men? Do you feel your home is not stable? Do you feel you missed out on something?
I think that's it.
What continues to make you go out and cheat? It's difference between, I got drunk and I thought this was my wife, type of deal, even though I really wouldn't buy that. Right. It's different from it being one time someone who is extremely remorseful, as opposed to, you've been married for, let's say, 10 years, and you have two to three outside partners every year, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, what that definitely signifies that there is a deep rooted issue there that definitely needs to be addressed, and it's not being addressed because you keep doing it.
Yeah. And then you keep passing over and saying, "Oh, it's okay," or letting
right.
it go. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly.
But then, if it is addressed, are they actually going to?
Are they going to stay? Or are they going to go? Yeah. That for me, that would definitely be like we were talking about last week. Deal breakers. You got to go. You probably got to die at this point too. So you, her, him, them, everybody, y'all got to go. Meaning off of this planet, because that's just where it's at.
Especially if it's like a more than once. I didn't just meet you in a club or something.
Right.
You're telling me you're not married.
Right.
If you know you're his secretary and you knew good and well he was married, then
right. 6 months dating, you know what? I'll just let you go on. You weren't for me anyway. 2 years dating, oh, you probably gonna have to die because I've been with you too long, putting too much work. We're married, oh, definitely. I hope you put your will out. I mean, the plot is already paid for, and I have insurance on you too. So, it'll be a probably win-win situation for me, So, also in that study, they did say, this is what I found pretty interesting. Men, it said men, adults who didn't grow up in intact families, and those who rarely or never attended religious services are more likely than others to have cheated on their spouse. Very interesting.
I can see that because you're not seeing that growing up. You're not seeing couples who've been together forever all the time doing things together. Yeah. All you see is a boyfriend coming in and out, girlfriend coming in and out. That's all you see, or somebody alone doing what they want to all the time. So that makes sense.
So let's get to the meat of this conversation. Who should be blamed? Who should be blamed for all of this, for the infidelity?
Well, and a lot of times you'll see on, whether it's a TV show or whatever, reality TV or real TV, they always go to, sometimes I don't feel it's the woman's fault. I don't, majority of the time. Sometimes, you do have those people like your secretaries, and not to say secretaries, not to put it on, but a individual who's going to go after a man or a woman, and they know they're married. I said, now sometimes, your spouse is out in the club, or they meet somebody in a club or a bar, or they set something up on the dating apps or whatever. Now, I totally, at that point, still would almost blame him, even if it was somebody they knew, because you're married. So you need to stop it before it even goes on. So I guess even in that sense, even if somebody just kept coming after you, kept coming after you, and they knew that you were married, you're married.
Yeah.
So that's your responsibility to stop it in its tracks before it even goes anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would agree with you on that. If the woman already knows that you're married, the male is married, and same way around. If this were married women, single men, whoever's going after the person, if they already know that person is involved in a marriage, and even just beyond a marriage or a relationship, like, it has to start somewhere. You have to have some sort of respect for people, and you just continue your pursuit for that person. Like, that's wrong. You are definitely the one to blame, definitely the one in the wrong. However, if that married individual continues to accept your advances, then you should be to blame as well. Then you actually hold that responsibility because you made vows. Right. You already know what's going on. You need to turn them down. Like, what was it? Music Soul Child. He has a song, and his song says, "If I met you when I was single." The song actually talks about him being at a gas station. The girl was talking to him, but he had just left from being with his girl on his way to work, and he's engaging in the conversation. He had to stop himself, like, if I met you when I was single, this would have been cool, but I can't. So people really need to take that mindset and that attitude.
Actually married.
Yeah,
exactly.
You need to say, you know what? Hey, this is appreciated. Of course, everybody feels flattered when people acknowledge them, and they like them, all that sort of stuff. But I also have to be an adult and mature enough to say, hey, I can't do this with you right now. If this were a different time, a different age, a different part of the universe, or whatever the case may be, this might have been acceptable. But now, no, I can't do it. So we're actually going to end right here. This is actually only part 1 of our married men, single women. So if you guys ever have any comments, questions, concern, anything that you want to add, you want us to talk about next week, please leave your comments. We'll get back to you. We'll definitely address them. Also, you can hit me up at at theyomoshow@gmail.com for anything you need to